Listen, people, it's time. 2 weeks has gone by and it's time to redo this manicure. So one of my lovely nails popped off today and I decided to go ahead and redo this. It's been a little bit more than 2 weeks, so it's time for me to remove these. So today's video is going to be about the removal process of gel polish nails. So stay tuned and let's get started. Let's talk materials. I use a 100 to 180 grit file to rough up the top layer of my gel polish. I'll use the rough side to do that. Now we're going to talk about some tools you might want. Definitely the Orangewood Stick. This thing I got from Wish that I thought I might use, that's supposed to be a gel polish remover. I didn't use it. And then of course the Cuticle Pusher. This thing is super sharp and just be careful if you're going to use this one. Use it with caution. Know it might damage your nail. We also need acetone, of course. Now for the types of removal systems, you could just use the cotton pad and a piece of aluminum. Or they have these special aluminum ones that are pre-made, or they have other types that are also pre-made. You could use these clips. I don't love them. People use cotton balls with them. They're not my favorite. This was one of my favorites, Nail Mates, and I used these things for quite a while, but they became kind of warped and misshapen, so I found a good replacement. This is the Soak Off system by Kiss. They have silicone caps with these little pads that you can soak with acetone and put inside. This one's even supposed to be one that you could use for electronics. You're going to see that I begin this process not by filing directly right away, but I'm actually going to look for any lifting. So I'm going to pull up anything that can possibly be pulled up. I'm not going to pull too hard, but I am going to use my cuticle nippers and I'm going to nip off anything that's already kind of been lifting in any areas. So my nails don't really adhere too well to gel polish, so I end up having a lot of lifting. They will stay on my nails and protect my nails, but I do end up with lots of lifting, so sometimes whole nails will flip off as I go. So this is just me removing all of these pieces with my cuticle nippers. Then we get to the filing part. So a lot of people just take off that very top layer, the shiny layer of the gel polish. I like to get as far as I can into the design as I can so that the acetone can really easily get into the nail and remove that polish. So here I am. I'm just filing away as much as I possibly can. You'll notice I forgot to take off my bling, so I go back in with my cuticle nippers and I'm just kind of nipping off all of my bling so that I can get a nice file on the rest of them. And I just file away and file away and file away until all of that design is at least gone off of the nail. And sometimes I get a little too crazy and I go down to the natural nail like you'll see here. But the good news is I always put 2 coats of base coat on. So it may look like I've hit my natural nail. Yikes! But I didn't actually hit my natural nail. It was the base polish. So no big deal. And I complete the rest of the filing that I need to do. This pinky gave me problems, y'all. It's time to grab the acetone and the system of removal of your choice. I chose the Kiss Soak Off system, so I just soak all of these little pads in acetone and then slip them into the silicone caps and then slide them onto my fingers. And once these are on, I will wait about 10 minutes for them to get finished. Now you can see here I kind of screw up a little bit and I put it inside of a small one when really they have large ones for your thumbs, so I switched and put it into a large one for my thumb. And now I'm going to patiently wait the 10 minutes. Because I'm that kind of nerd, I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. Y'all, I am so impatient I did not even make it through the 10 minutes. A lot of times you can kind of check along the way to see if they're ready or not. So I just kind of pulled off the cap and sometimes you can kind of take off whatever you possibly can. This one was like, look, it had a lot that was ready to go after only 7.5 minutes. So I just pick off whatever I can. If I can't get it easily, then I just put the cap back on it. I move to the next one. This particular nail, it was pretty much ready to go. There wasn't a lot there to begin with, so it was done after only 7.5 minutes. I move on to the thumb, and it had some that was ready to peel off, but it had to go back on. So I just put it back on whenever I'm done. The rest of the time counts down, and I make it through those 10 minutes, and usually everything is ready to go after 10 minutes. So I see that my pinky still has a lot to do. It's fighting me, so I'm just going to soak it back in acetone and put that back on for now. The other ones are pretty much ready to go. I just kind of pick at them with my Orangewood stick, and eventually they let loose, and no big deal. I'm not using a lot of pressure. I am going from all different angles though to try to get that lift off of there. So 4 of them came cleanly off. This last one was giving me problems, so I had to switch to something else. I used my Cuticle Pusher, and you just need to be careful with these because you can see here that I'm taking off a little bit of the nail as I'm doing this, and that's what happens when you use a Cuticle Pusher. When you get down and it's still got a little bit left, you could soak a cotton wipe in acetone, and that usually does the trick. And if that doesn't work, you can also grab a nail buffer and kind of just buff off that last little bit. Here lies the aftermath. I've got some cleanup to do. I'm going to clean the silicone caps and these pads with regular soapy water. I will also wash my hands really well with soap and water. I will make sure to use cuticle oil when I get done because my skin is very dry. My cuticles are very dry after the acetone treatment. So that is how I remove gel polish, you guys. I do hope that you will follow me on Instagram and subscribe here. And until we meet again, I hope you decorate every nail you got. Bye!